Hi, my name is Courtney Fincher, and I wanted to talk to you today a little bit about post-traumatic growth and relational safety. So, when we normally talk about difficult things, we think about stress and trauma creating the syndrome PTSD, which means that the trauma stays with us and we have negative impacts from it. But there is something called post-traumatic growth, which is that the stressful and traumatic even event can actually catalyze our growth. So I don't think anyone would argue that 2020 has been quite a year and many people are going through really challenging times. So I want to unpack what kinds of things, what are the elements that can take a stressful situation and turn it into a growth experience? Well, so much of that is learning to stretch our capacity and create resilience. And the number one thing that we need is safety, which of course in 2020 is a little bit of in question, right? But there's relational safety, and that can be different. And that is something that parents who are really worried and concerned about their children not being in school and maybe not getting social emotional needs met can really focus on this area of safety. And in fact, it's really one of the foundational aspects to human development is to create this secure attachment with your primary caregivers. So I wanted to maybe unpack that a little bit and give you some simple strategies around what relational safety is and how you can create it. I think the biggest thing is being with emotions and really Dan Siegel calls it mind sight. Some people call it presence. Some people call it just being with. And it's that ability to really kind of see behind the mind of someone until they feel super understood. It really helps for children to have their feelings organized and to be held. And this is actually true for adults and partners, friendships, all of that. So we're all going through 2020, and these are all skills that we can use. But it's that wave of emotion that will come in, and if someone can hold it with you, and they don't try to make it go away, they don't try to fix it, you don't feel shamed for having it, that's really, really important. Because if you do have this feeling that you need to manage your own emotions, which are already unmanageable for you, otherwise you won't be held securely, you won't be loved, you'll be shamed. It's very, very stressful for the nervous system. So what does being with look like? It looks like just maybe being nonverbal at first. If you do feel like you understand the emotion, maybe naming it. There's some science around when someone can categorize and feel understood, it settles the nervous system. Some people don't really want to be talked to right away when they're in a flood of emotions. So just reading the body cues and knowing the person that you're with. What are body cues? So some nonverbal suggestions, just kind eyes, open posture. Some people really need their space until they're ready to turn to you. So maybe showing that you're available with an open posture, but maybe not staring at them, having an averted gaze, sitting maybe with your body slightly away but open. These are just some tips that you can just decipher based on where your child or partner is at. The other thing that is really feeling unsafe is that there's uncertainty in the world. However, we can break that apart and really start to think about where do we have control and where can we predict. So maybe just simplifying and really concretizing those moments and focusing on what can we predict. We can predict that we're going to watch the family movie, or we can predict what we're going to have for dinner tonight. I mean, not everybody can. So you pick what things in your family culture are predictable and really name those. And especially for children who feel really maybe disappointed and unsure how to orient themselves to their lives, pick out the things that they can actually control. Control is something that everyone wants a little bit of, right? And children, they're growing up, they're individuating from their families. Anyone that's had a toddler knows that control is really part of the growth process, and kids really want it. I mean, imagine being this little person in a big world and you're told what to wear, what to eat, when to clean up, what time to get up, what time to go to bed. I mean, everything, right? Where you're going, you don't really have that much control. And it's a really powerful part of growing up is to find where you have control. So just knowing that and knowing that need, then we can take this really unpredictable time and make it feel more safe by finding ways to give kids control.